welcome to a tour, an overview of InDesign. So this is InDesign. When you first open it up, it's kind of a welcome screen. You'll see a few usable presets, and if you've opened any files, you can see some recent open files. The two main buttons you can use are Create New or Open. I'm going to choose Create New, and this is what comes up, New Document Window. If you've done anything in Photoshop or Illustrator, this looks very familiar to you. So there are some presets here in InDesign New Document Window. You can look at different printing sizes. You can look at web and then mobile. You do have some preset details where you can change your units. I like working in inches. Makes a lot more sense to me. And this facing pages, I'll show you what that means in a minute. For now, I'm going to put down 4 so we can see what facing pages means. Well, let me put down 6. We'll get the same result, but better idea maybe. Since we're doing facing pages, probably I'm not going to use 8.5 by 11. I might use something a little more like a 6 by 9. Okay. Further down you can tell, like if you were making chapters of a book, you can say what page it would be starting on. You can have your margins create a primary text frame. Choose how many columns, how wide you want the column gutter, and set your margins here. You can do all of these inside InDesign after you get going, but if you know exactly what you're wanting to do, you can set those here and be off and running. So I chose Create. Here's my 6 by 9 page 1. This is helpful to get around quickly. There's jumps from page to page. And you're seeing what's happening with that facing pages already. This is the pages palette. And with facing pages, you can see that our pages would be in spreads. They would be facing one another. So you can design this as one whole. You can see a little line representing the gutter of your book or magazine publication. If we go into properties, we can remove or turn off that facing pages, and we'll have a look to see what that shows us. Okay, so it's individual pages. So this might mean something like a website or slides or single or front paged printouts, that type of thing. So I'm going to stick with facing pages. And then, so this is one of the things that's quite different between InDesign and, say, Illustrator or Photoshop, is that it deals with, this is specifically for publications, and this is kind of where the power and the difference is in between the programs. And it's also in this master page, which is really a fantastic. Let me dig into that a little. Well, actually, let me just here's our menu. These change based on the different tool you choose. So if I'm in type, I'm going to see a lot of details in here about the type tool. If I go to, say, the pen tool, I'm going to see a fill and stroke and width and what type of line I'm drawing and where it will start and size and rotation and all that stuff. So yeah, this basically changes out for each, and I'm in the Essential Classic setting. I could just go to Essentials and it really wouldn't show that, and you get a little more room to work, and all of that would be more in the more in here, more in the properties, and on the individual. So if we're doing some type, I would probably go into the character palette and the paragraph palette to make some of those settings and changes that I would or could do under the Essentials Classic up here. Okay, so I'll just continue on the side. Here's our toolbar. Selection, direct select, type, rectangles, cut, a little bit of pen tool. It's not as wonderful as Illustrator, but it's okay. Gets us around when we need it. The color scheme similar to Illustrator as far as a fill and a stroke. And let's see, but yeah, no. And then here's our palettes. Again, they're under window if you don't see them in here. And if you're looking for a palette that you don't see on this list here, it's probably under the sublist. There's a lot of sublists. So if we go to type, you're going to see character and glyphs and paragraph and story and table. But let me go back into and talk about the master page a little bit more. So a master page is where you can place elements on a spread that are fixed. They don't move. And so we have a master A, and then you can add additional masters. Say if you have other chapters that need to have other fixed items in it, maybe they change color schemes, maybe they change folios, that type of thing. But if you were to highlight the master, double click on that. So now it's highlighted. Now I'm not looking at the whole document. I'm only looking at the master page. And here, if I make changes to the margin, say, so let's say our inside is going to be 0.5, but our outside is going to be maybe, oh, see, now they're all linked. So that was my issue. Let me change that to 0.5. Unlink it, and then I'll change my outside to 1.25. Change my top to 0.75, and then my bottom maybe to 1. Okay. So now I have kind of an asymmetric. Well, it's definitely symmetrical along the gutter, but each page is an asymmetric layout. Yeah, we can change these individually. Let's say I wanted this same layout on this page. I would get out of master and then just select one and go in and change that side. But let me just demonstrate putting in say a folio here. Okay, and I don't really know the size of that. Okay, 8. Yeah, let's maybe move up to 10. Okay, so here's the left-hand folio. I'm going to just move this down and put a page number down here. A page number is going to be a specific, it's going to look a little different on the master page because we put a little special character in here, and then as it goes from page to page in the document itself, it'll change. So we're going to have to go to type, insert special character, marker, current page number. And it looks like an A, and we can stylize that A however we like, really. Like, let's just say we go for an italic. Yeah, that's good. So what I'm going to do is move these two elements to the other side. I'm holding down Alt. I think that did it. Yeah. And then I'm going to flush right both items. great. So now, as I go into my actual document, I'm going to see the folio appear on each page. And currently, the default is to have these locked, which is really helpful, because then, for me anyway, and then you can see page 2 and 3. I go up to the opening page, and it's page 1. So this is kind of, these are the strengths of InDesign. Now they do have a lot of strengths is working with type and with layout, but this is kind of some of the essentials, and that should at least get you basically up and working with InDesign. So one thing I should cover in InDesign is styles. So I'm going to do that very quickly. Get some type and drop it into a page. I change this to a 2-column preview. And then I'm gonna, well, let's do this. Just gonna duplicate that over here. And in this, I'm gonna add some place fill with placeholder text. You can't see it, it's just outside the window. And then I'll just kind of format this. That's great. What do we have? 9/12. So I'm just gonna okay, so just 12 point between columns, or between at the end of paragraphs. And I'm going to link these two so the type will flow over. And then we'll continue to fill this with placeholder text. Okay, and then let's put in some headlines. So then I'm going to stylize this, put some attributes to this type, and I'm going to probably remove that. Yeah, let's just leave it at that. Well, I need to make it a little bit different so you can see what's going on. Fine. Okay, so it's a little bold, but whatever. Okay, so what I'm going to do is define this. Go to Styles and Paragraph. So we'll make a new style here. I'm going to go under my style, paragraph styles. I'm going to use the plus to create a style. And Oh, you know what? I'm going to do Alt or Option plus. So what this does, it takes whatever I have selected, makes a new style out of it, and opens it up for me to allow me to name it. I'm just going to call it Headline, all cap, and I'll click OK. Oops, I shouldn't have added it to my library, so that's okay. So if I look under paragraph style, here it is. And then we'll make a style for this as well. Keep it a paragraph style. I'm doing it a different way here. I'm in the properties panel, but you can do that here. So I'll do plus to create one. And this will be body type. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to make this headline have the same style as that one. So that's going to be my headline cap. And you can see that the space underneath vanished, so the same attributes from that I did with this was applied here. And then the next thing we'll do is we'll take all this type and we will define it as body type. We'll do the same thing here. And I'll do the same thing here. So the nice thing about this is now that we have things defined, let me put in one more headline. I'm going to change that to be also the headline cap. So let's say I don't like the body or someone doesn't like it. So what we can do is redefine the body. Oops, that just finished. Sorry about that. So I'll take this paragraph here and let me make a change to it. So let's see, it needs to be a little larger. And yeah, so what I'll do is I don't think I did that right. Let me try that again. So I'm going to body type and I'm choosing edit, and I just changed it up a point. So I'm going to go to this basic paragraphs, move this up a point, move this to 13, and I'll click OK. And so now everything is now 11 over 13. And let's see, someone didn't like, or I didn't like this this headline. So what I'm going to do is change the headline. And we can click preview on it too. So as we make our changes, oh, I guess I never defined that one. There we go. You see the other two were defined, they changed, but this one never had the style applied. So here, this is kind of another power of InDesign, is this style sheet. So let's say you have a whole magazine or something or book laid out, and someone has some, change to the attributes of your type. You can make those and change them in styles, and it will apply across the board, similar to CCS, cascading style sheets, where you control large bodies of type and big attributes. Anyway, so that's the overview of InDesign.